Hello everyone, I am just bringing in Tash to... Hi Tash, come on in. Hello everybody. We are just waiting for Tash for Nova Verde to join us. I can see Instagram doing its thing. Hi Tash.
Hi! Hooray, it works!
Hello, I was so nervous then. It was there like whirling round. I was thinking, God, how long am I going to have to fill time on my own for?
I'm the same. I'm like, 32, okay, where is it? Where is it? It's coming.
Hey Shah, how you doing? Good to see you. Hi,
And
Tash.
you look so well. Do you know, you live up the road from me and yet we never bump into each other. It's the maddest thing.
I know, we're constantly walking around the village, but we never we never bump into each other.
Mostly because you're up for like really wet and muddy walks, I see, after today, whereas I tend to avoid the rain like a plague.
Yeah, when you've got two spaniels, the weather is irrelevant. You're out all day, every day.
Yeah,
So
don't envy them.
We're here to talk all things celebrants because you have recently done your celebrant qualification.
Yay!
Congrats!
Thank you. It's a bit of a whirlwind. I started just before Christmas, just as something to sort of pass the time during lockdown. And here we are, and now it's all systems go.
So tell us what gave you the idea? What made you think, right, a celebrant, that is the calling for me?
Well, I didn't always think it was a calling. I, from being very young, probably about 16, have presented awards at school and like hosted events. And then as we get older, friends say, will you speak at my wedding? Will you, as a bridesmaid, talk or say something? At work, it would be, can you do the presentation? Because everybody seems so terrified of standing up in front of anyone. So that sort of happened. And then everyone sort of knows me as that person, the one who's happy to speak up and stand up and speak. But then my friends, Lucy and Pete, I don't know if they're on, they got engaged and I did an engagement, just an offhanded, I'm not a professional photographer, just an offhanded engagement shoot with them. And they said, oh my God, Tash, you should marry us. And I was like, hey, now there's an idea. And it just sort of spiraled from there.
Amazing. So you're not scared about getting up in front of everyone and talk? No, doesn't faze you whatsoever.
No, it's the weirdest thing. I've always had this like not confidence, like I don't want to like be really cocky, but it's always just been fine for me. I think I'm established enough within myself to know that what could really go wrong.
That's amazing, because I think even for a lot of people, even though you know, like you say, what could go wrong, your heart starts pounding and you get the hot flushes. I do. I've spoken at a couple of weddings and oh my, the adrenaline is unreal. Yeah, it's
sweaty palms. A lot of people, hi Jazz, a lot of people get the whole sweaty palms. I can't talk, I'm a nervous wreck. But yeah, I think once you've done it enough, you know, and even now, because I haven't done it for such a long time, I found that just doing the course, I've had to practice speaking again and, you know, composing myself, not using my hands all the time.
So tell us then a bit about what being a celebrant means, because we were chatting the other day when I saw that you'd finished your course and I said to you, Tash, I don't actually know what this means. I'm planning my own wedding. I know of celebrants, but I don't really know what they can offer to my wedding, what the options are, what the legalities are. So I guess that is why we are here today, to talk about all of those things. So
honestly, you're not alone. There's so many people who don't realize that you don't have to be a registrar in order to hold a ceremony. So what a celebrant is somebody who performs or officiates a ceremony. This could be weddings, naming ceremonies, vow renewals. If you want a ceremony for it, a celebrant can do it. You get two types of celebrants. One is a humanist celebrant, and they are sort of strictly within the humanist organization. They have to conduct the ceremony within those rules. And then you get an independent celebrant, which is what I am. And you can work with anyone. It tends to come down to religion. So in the UK, the only people who can marry you are the church or a registrar. But outside of that, if you're an independent celebrant, you can marry anyone. If you wanted to have some elements of religion within your ceremony, you could do.
Okay, so it's very
It's open, it's inclusive,
very
it's
wide open. So I
yeah,
guess that's one of the big benefits of having a celebrant then. It's kind of up to you what you include within your ceremony.
exactly.
So what are the other benefits? Like, are there any restrictions whatsoever in terms of like how you can do it, where you can do it?
Well, no. So if you have a celebrant at your wedding, the whole idea is that you could get married anywhere. There's no, if you're a registrar, you are legally bound to marry someone at a registered building as decided by your local authority. So
Mhm.
in Basingstoke, for example, we've got a few registered buildings, but you could only get married underneath the building, underneath the roof of that building. You couldn't, for example, get married at the tree outside of that building if it was a registrar. But if it was a celebrant, you could get married at the tree and have your reception in the hall, for example.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how does that then work legalities wise? So can a celebrant do all the legal side of things with me under the tree, say, or is there something that you have to kind of get in place and organise separate to that?
Yeah, so the that's the thing I've had to learn a lot about, because obviously I'm not from here, so English way of doing things is very different. But again, the only two people who can legally marry you in England are a registrar appointed by the council or somebody from the church if you were having a religious ceremony. So what you could do if you had a celebrant is you could go to the council offices, sign some papers. It's called a 2+2, which means it's you, your partner, and two witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
You sign your official documents. You have to declare, because that's the whole process of getting married legally, is that they have to witness the declaration and witness the signing.
Yeah.
And so you can do that at the council in your own time. I know you're going to go on to this, but the doing that is so restricted because the council normally only have allotted times. So they'll have 10 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday afternoon, or for a few hours, and then you're sort of one of many people who go in to get married at that time. But you get that done, and then you can have your ceremony effectively whenever and wherever you want. You can get married in a field, you can have stormtroopers at the wedding. Honestly,
I guess whenever, wherever, and however you want, because you've done the official legal bit beforehand. So exactly. I guess that means that if you did want to include some of the traditional elements like vows, readings, all of those sorts of things, that's completely within your gift to do it. What happens if, for example, I want a celebrant to conduct my wedding, but I still want some sort of element from the religious side of things included? Is that something that's
completely, obviously? Yes, completely. Obviously, it's dependent on the celebrant themselves. So if we met beforehand, I would learn about the religion that you're interested in, and we could talk about the ceremonies. Part of my job to do a lot of research in that area. But we could definitely include that. The joy of it is that nothing's off limits. There are no rules. Whereas, obviously, if you have a registered wedding, it's very much to the book. The registrar arrives normally about half an hour before your ceremony, conducts the ceremony. It's very scripted. I'm not saying they're all sort of like this, and I'm not slagging off any registrars, because some of them may be fun and enjoyable, but for the most part, there's just a set way of doing things, a set word to say, and then they're done, then they're gone. It's impersonal in that they've only met you about half an hour before you got married.
Yeah. And like you say, I guess it's about doing what's right for you as a couple. There's no right way for everyone. Some people will get married in a church, others will have the registrar. But I guess this is about trying to raise awareness on the third option available to people, which is to have a celebrant, because it's something that I was definitely kind of never really aware of in terms of it being a proper option, and I certainly didn't know how it worked. And
did you just go to your venue? Did your venue just say, we've got a registrar? Because that's normally what happens.
No, so I went, we did a few venue tours and things, booked in the date with the venue. They then said, right, now you need to go to your council and book a registrar.
Okay.
So that's exactly what we did. It kind of wasn't a case of, here are your options. You've got the registrar option, or you've got the celebrant option. I guess kind of in their defence, what they may have meant was go to a registrar And then your options are either the registrar marries you at the
Yes.
venue, or you get married at the registry office and then have a celebrant. But I was completely naive to all of the options available to us.
Yeah, but some venues won't say, by the way, you can have a celebrant. They may be registered buildings, and so they're just going to send you to the registrar, just sort of by proxy. But also the council, I again in my research realised that they don't even mention it as an option. They sort of just say you have to get married, because at some point you have to go to the council. So like you need to say that up front. At some point you'll have to be at the council signing some papers with them. Whether they do the whole shebang or just the legal bit is completely up to you, and that's the part that they don't tell everybody.
So you have to.
I love that you're taking notes. I feel very official.
I've got my pink pen. So you are. Well, we're now on wedding planning number 3. So
oh my goodness,
options are available to us.
I can't even imagine what that's like for you.
Oh, don't worry, I'm a wedding planning pro by this point. It's all good.
Hey, maybe there's another extension.
What are the cost implications, one way or another? Because I know through experience that getting a registrar signed up and coming to your venue to conduct the ceremony is not the cheapest thing in the world.
No.
How does that compare versus if you go down the route of getting married in the registry office and then having a celebrant come along to do your ceremony?
Well, it's obviously worlds cheaper for one. But again, I had to go online. I've written it down here. But at Basingstoke, for example, if you were to go and sign the papers on one day and have your ceremony separately, you would only need to pay £46 to do the legal bit. Again, that's you and 2 witnesses. You sign the papers and hey ho, you're married, essentially. And that's for under £50. And then obviously your celebrant fees would be on top of that. But and I can't speak for everybody, you're probably looking at less than what the registrar chooses to charge. And if it is the same, and this is where I suppose the sales pitch comes in, if it is the same amount as what your local council is charging you, then you've got to weigh up the benefits of what you're getting. The local council is going to, the registrar is going to, again, arrive 30 minutes beforehand, do the ceremony. I've been to one wedding where the registrar got the groom's name wrong, so that was fun. And then leave, you know, so there's an element of like coldness to it, but again, it depends on you as a couple. If you're happy with that and you're not too fussed, then fine. If, like me, you've been planning to get married in a field since you were 6 years old and you want this meadow wedding, then you would consider a celebrant, because that person has taken the time to get to know you as a couple, and give you that ceremony that you've always wanted with, you know, stormtroopers or whatever.
And it's funny actually how you were speaking about how the registrar comes to the venue about half an hour beforehand. Usually would kind of interview the bride, interview the groom separately, then you do your ceremony. At the moment, it's not even that. So for our second attempt at a wedding last year, back in November, the plan was actually that the registrars weren't even able to interview you separately because of all the restrictions in place at the moment. We were going to have to come together in a room somehow back to back, or however that may be, so that we didn't see each other before our ceremony, because the registrar wasn't comfortable with doing it separately. So at the moment, I think there are perhaps even more restrictions in place than the normal procedure would be. So it's definitely a tricky one. So tell me a bit about how you work with your couples beforehand to kind of gain an understanding of what's important to them, and like what process you go through to work out what that ceremony is going to look like. Because I guess like the world is your oyster, right? Like there's no kind of guidelines that have to be followed. It's whatever suits them.
Exactly. And this is you've hit the nail on the head there. It's whatever suits you. This is your day. And so many people I find are confined by the rules of what a wedding should be and how a wedding should look like. And one of the very first things we learned was, what is a real wedding? And as if there's any rules, do you know what I mean? Like traditionally there's some rituals that have to be followed, and there's like a coming together that needs to happen in any wedding, but for the rest of it, it's whatever you want to make of it. And so how I would start, I'm doing the hand thing again, can you see? How I would start is, so with me, you'll get 2 meetings of any length beforehand, where I will meet you guys as a couple. I'll then send you a Q&A, you know, with some fun questions that you both fill out separately so that we can get an idea of who you are as individuals as well. And this could be, I mean, if you chose me, or you chose to meet me up to a year in advance, then we have a year of getting to know each other before the day. And so the person, me standing up there and saying these fantastic things about you, really actually knows you quite well.
Yeah.
And then you get full contact with me, you know, if you wanted to include me in fun things that were happening with the wedding on the side, you know, then I would be down for that. It's all about just getting that person involved, so that on the day that you've asked all these people to come down and watch you guys become a married couple, that the person up there is going to make it really special, what you dreamed of, you know, rather than...
It's one of the most important few minutes of your life, right? You want that person at the front to be on that same vibe with you and be excited, as excited as you are, and like...
And they're going to be in all of your... They're going to be in your pictures for the rest of your life. Do you know what I mean? You want to be able to say, oh, look at Tash. She was so happy for us. She said the greatest things. Remember that time. Do you know what I mean? Like, so the other benefits is that by getting to know the couple, you get to involve the other parts of the family. If there's any aunts and uncles or fathers who want to speak, then they're allowed to do so. We incorporate them. We welcome that, you know, because at the end of the day, it's two families coming together for the most part. Yeah, so for me anyways, I think it's just because that's my skill, is that I'm good with people. I'm good at getting to know people, asking the right questions, noticing the looks between each other, you know, and being able to tell that story to the people who have come to witness you on the day.
Yeah. Oh, we've got lots of people saying this is so interesting. Love it. This has been so helpful, honestly. Before we got together this week, I didn't have a skivvy on anything celebrant.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's so mad. And I'm really glad that I can help spread the word. I think even within the celebrant community, it's just like, it's not that there's no exposure, but again, I hadn't, until I looked into how can I marry someone. I didn't, you know, do you know what I mean? Like, I was ready to become a registrar. So so it's good that we can. Oh, who's that? Courtney. Oh, she's getting married. Oh, she wants me to marry them. Yay!
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. If it only serves that we've got Courtney from this who is going to marry you. There you go. We made
honestly
one person.
That's it. That's all it's about. I just think that for me anyways, it's just about being able to like bring that human connection. I'm all about new growth and new beginnings, and you know that I came here, you know, pretty much with nobody. I started from scratch with nothing, and so I like to be able to think that I could help a couple sort of see their potential in life, you know. It's a bit cheesy.
You can tell, like, just from talking to you, you can see how passionate you are about it.
Thank you.
Well, it makes me think that when I get married, I want someone as passionate as you.
Well,
I'm surprised marrying me.
Third attempt. I'm surprised you haven't got it sorted. What are your plans now? Are you?
We're on for July at the moment. So
okay. Fingers crossed.
Let's see. We'll see. Actually, you know what? After everything last year, we are very much now in a relaxed kind of mindset, because we've kind of accepted the fact that we can't control anything anymore. We will get our date at some point. We'll see when. Up until then, we'll just enjoy our very long engagement.
Well, exactly. And at the end of the day, you're going to be together regardless, you know. And I know that's an easy thing for somebody who's not getting married or who hasn't had 3 cancelled weddings to say, but you're together, you share your lives together, and you know, it's just a few more stories to tell at the wedding.
Exactly. We kind of say it's not, you know, we will love to be married one day, but it's not going to change our relationship. We've already put up with each other for 5 years, so what's another year or two?
What's another year? Have you had to make many sacrifices that you're bitter about or angry about, or?
It's been a weird roller coaster of emotions, if I'm honest.
Jazz has just invited me to Italy to marry them. Yes.
There you go. I think we are serving our purpose. You know what? We said the aim of today is to raise a bit more awareness as to the options that are available to people. So there we go. You're doing that. Oh, thanks, Jazz. So for you, my
Jazz?
darling.
I can't
I
wait.
know Jazz has just had to put her wedding back till next year as well. So it is not fun being a postponed bride.
Yeah, you're handling it really well, though. I would probably
I am
be
now,
kicking
but I
and
wasn't
screaming.
always. I wasn't always, and I fully appreciate that anyone going through it, it's a roller coaster of emotions, and it does get easier.
Yeah.
And you do get to the point where you can feel like you can laugh about it a little bit, but it's not always like that. So I am here for all of the postponed brides and grooms. If you need someone to talk to or someone to rant at,
I'll send them your way.
So just send me a message.
Is there like a club, like not like an AA, but like a BA, like CBA, Cancelled Brides Anonymous or something?
I don't know, but I think maybe you found a niche because you've got.
You do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so good. You inspired me, honestly. I need to get that out there. Your little business, you know, I saw it grow from the ground up, and every time I saw another picture, I thought, God, she's so good, you know, and you just got better and better, and you inspired me to sort of take that leap and do it, you know, have a side gig. Not many people bother, so thank you as well.
Oh, anytime. It's hard work, but it's worth it because you get to work in the most amazing industry ever, full of love and happiness. So what more could you want?
It just so happens you're very good at it as well, which helps.
Thank you. You're welcome. I'm working hard on it.
Oh, thanks, Jazz. All the hearts.
So I think we have come to the end of all of our questions.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you so much, because I feel like you have educated all of us, and you have raised awareness as to all of the options that are available to us, which I certainly didn't know about, and I didn't know about all the benefits and how it works and all of the rest of it. So I think it's been a really, really helpful session. So
you're so welcome. Thank you. Thanks for chatting to me. Maybe we can do this again. And
definitely.
I'll put everything in a post just to summarize for all the people who can't stand the rambling.
Yeah, we'll share this after for sure. Definitely.
Cool. Thank you, my love, and I'll hope to see you soon. Let's go walking or something soon.
Yes, definitely.
Cool.
Get out your wellies.
Oh, God, I will.
Thanks, guys. Speak to you soon.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.